Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and in today's episode, we continue with our series of episodes from the 2024 Baltimore Comic Con. In this episode, this will be the last of the signings that I do, meeting some of the creators, but this is a special one as opposed to the ones that I've been showing over the last week or so, where I actually bring a CGC witness with me and then submit these books to CGC for grading. So that's what's different about this compared to the other one. So you get to see a little bit of that process that I went through when I was at the Baltimore Comic Con and what it's like for everybody who goes to a lot of these cons where CGC is present. All right, so the three artists that I ended up taking books to get signed from were Klaus Janson, Al Milgram, and Steve Epting. And with Klaus Janson, it was going to be a case of taking books that had already been signed at HeroesCon earlier this year. A facilitator got those books signed for me. I got those books back, and they were these beautiful 9.8s. And you'll see it in the film right there. You'll see a little bit of what I had to go through. First thing was, like I said, it was already graded. It was already authenticated. It was witnessed with the facilitator. It was copies of Spider-Man 252, the first appearance of the black costume. These were facsimiles, though, that I had sent down to get signed by 4 of the creators from the book. We're talking about Jim Shooter, Tom DeFalco, Brett Breeding, and the penciler Ron Friends. And the idea was I was going to try to get Klaus Janson and eventually Roger Stern on those books as well. I wanted this as a project piece. And I guess I could have used the original book, but at the time, I wasn't sure that the raw copies that I have were going to grade out that well. In the end, it ended up being that my raw copies were both 9.8s. I probably could have done this project with the real thing. But for the sake of this experiment, I wanted to use these really nice facsimiles that I pretty much was sure that we're going to get 9.8s. In fact, when I got the books back from HeroesCon from CGC, they were both 9.8s, and you'll see them in the video coming up here, right as I'm getting CGC to crack these books open. Well, the idea was to bring it to Baltimore Comic Con to get Klaus Janson to sign this, and someday I hope to get Roger Stern on there as well, but if I only get 5 of these 6, it's still pretty good, but I definitely want to get Roger Stern at some point. So I'm going to run some footage of me at CGC, and then you'll see me going to get the book signed by Klaus Janson, and you'll see my interaction with the witness as well. And then we'll come back, I'll talk about a little bit, and we'll do a little bit of show and tell, and then we'll move forward after that. But before we begin anything, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. All right, guys, sit back, enjoy the first part of the footage, and I'll be right back.
Just these two?
Yeah, just these two.
That's what I thought. I don't know if and your first name?
Rusty, R-U-S-T-Y.
Yeah.
And Miles, M-I-L-E-S. Okay, appreciate it. Just wait here. Hey, Klaus, how you doing? Got 2 books for you. Okay. If you don't mind, can you sign in silver?
Are these graded or?
These are going to be for CGC. Yeah, it should be good to go.
You want to do cash or credit?
How much to you?
60.
I'll do credit.
Okay, so 62.40 with taxes.
Okay.
A lot of fucking gold, you know that?
Oh my
I don't know where. I don't know.
You have a lot of gold.
I don't know where that fuck.
How the fuck do I know?
Thank you
I'm
so
older
much.
than you.
But between the two of us, we could at least have fun looking for it.
Thank you.
Where is it? It's on room 343.
I'm literally walking around for 15 minutes waiting for everything to dry.
Yeah. It's not even within my nature.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Once again,
Yeah, that's still pretty wet.
live streams have never taken 3
Let's bring them over to the
You want to take them?
yeah, walk them over to the... Give me one.
Yep.
You hold one. And we'll walk over to the...
Yep, that sounds perfect.
Alright. This should be good now.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
then you can submit these, or you're gonna get more signals in them?
No, this is going to be the last ones, and I'll submit them. I've got a couple other things, and I'll do all of that. I'll give you guys everything here probably by Sunday.
Yeah, the earlier the better. You know.
Well, I'm not doing it for in-show, grading or anything like that. So
Yeah, you said you were gonna get them sent home.
I'm going to send them. I'm going to have them sent.
I'm just gonna throw this out.
No worries.
Yeah, I think you're good, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. So bag them. And here. And cool. Well, Rusty, it was good seeing you again.
Cool. Do you have time to do Al Milgram?
Yeah, I can walk with you.
Okay.
I gotta grab some books for my friend.
Okay. Or you may grab somebody else? I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, I got you. I can go over that with you to Al. What are you getting signed by Al?
I'm getting the Spider-Man 194.
Okay. Cool. So hold on to that.
Yep.
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna go walk with you. I gotta go out.
All right, guys. So you saw how I ended up going to CGC first, and they ended up taking those books behind closed doors. They cracked them open, put the books into the Signature Series bags that they provide. Now, they didn't charge me for any of that at the con. I liked that part of it. And then I was able to go to Class Jansen with the witness. You saw that. And then you were able to watch how he signed those, the interaction, and then you've got the witness who actually helped me take the books over to a different area to let them dry. The witnesses are always pretty handy. They're really savvy in this, what goes on here. And when they know that the ink doesn't dry fast on these books, so they're patient with you and everything. So once we were finished with that, you could see what he does is take the books after the ink is dried, of course. We put them into a CGC bag. It is a sealed bag that has a card in it that the witness puts on there who actually signed the book, and he puts his information on there, puts it in the bag with the comic. So when you eventually go to CGC to submit your books, they open it up, and that card is right there with it. It verifies that who signed the books, basically. And it always maintains that there is a witness for that book. Well, once he's finished with the bag, he hands it back to me, and I can hold on to it for as long as I want while the con is going on, and I can submit these books at any point. And eventually, I go on Sunday morning and sit down, and before I do the Steve Epting signing, I go Sunday morning and submit all of my books to CGC other than Steve Epting's. And I eventually take those books that were witnessed, and I take those and have them opened up by somebody there, a representative at CGC, and then I'm able to stand there at the desk and work on the computer and make these submissions. So after we were finished with Klaus Jansen, books got submitted into the bag, put into the bag. He handed them back to me. After that point, I asked him, can you go with me over to see Al Milgram? And he said, sure, I've got some time. So sit back again, and I'll show you some of that footage. I always feel bad for the dealers. I literally spend 2 days nothing but signatures. Yeah. By Sunday, I usually finally get around to actually buying books.
Everyone has different priorities at the show. You know Al Milgram's booth number?
215.
Hi. Good. Let's go. I got to get a sketch done very fast. I don't mean to be rude. Oh, very cool. Oh, thanks. Well, and I believe I did the cover sketch for Jack to work off of as well. Yeah, that's a little known tidbit of a fact there. Let me do this. Yeah, he was out in California, and Jerry Conway, who was editor-in-chief at Marvel for about 4 weeks, if that, he said, we want you to do cover sketches for Kirby, because otherwise we have to ship him all these photocopies, and he'd have to spend time going through them. So we want you to do all the grunt work, but then do a sketch for Kirby to do. And I said, okay, it seems ridiculous to me, but sure. So I put on my Jack Kirby hat, and I did my very best Jack Kirby impression, and they came out pretty well. And I also got to ink a good many of them. So yeah, yeah. So kind of like a layout sketch. They were very tight little cover sketches. They were done like on, like a typewriter size paper. And then Jack, to my surprise and or delight, basically just did what I had done, but better. But I thought he might alter them more, but he really just said, "That's what they want. I'll give it to them." And like I said, I put on my Jack Kirby hat, and I did a pretty fair impression, I thought. So yeah. And then apparently the deal with him, I didn't know this at the time, he got all the stuff back. The inkers weren't getting it. So I managed to buy a number of those covers back from him at a San Diego con.
Okay.
And he gave me a discount. So
It was
yeah. Well, his son was manning his table, and I said, yeah, well, I really want to get these because I inked all these covers. And I did this guy. He said, "Oh, you're the inker." And he went and he said, "Wait here." And he went and came back. He says, "My dad says," I think he was charging $100 a cover. He said, "My dad says 60 for you." So I said, "Ooh, Jack Kirby cover for $60? Even with my inking, I'll take it." So yeah, it was great. I had fun. Hello, bear with me a minute.
No, it's all fine. Thank you. Appreciate it, Al.
Yeah. There's a guy who's not going to be here past today, and I assured him that I would get this sketch done in time. Okay, let's have him.
Cool. So this one I'm going to have witness. The other two are just regular
All
signatures.
right, so that's 30 and 20, so that's 50.
Do you want to do what? Do you want to do
What?
silver? I got silver or
No, I'm good with black on
Black.
this one right there.
okay.
No, stuck. All right, here we go. Now I gotta pry this up to get the bottom of the G in there. Good. Next. There we go. Oh, there's two different versions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, I'm stealing Starlin's spot.
Well, he went down in the corner on both of these, so
Oh, okay then. Those are the two sweet spots on this one. Yeah, just to shake it up a little, I'll do it here.
And what do I owe you for the three here?
What? How many witnessed was it?
Just one.
One witness is 20, and then 30, so 50. Wait, another line.
Okay, 10. There's 30,
Yep.
40, and 50.
50.
Al,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, good. Next.
Thanks for sticking. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You got me?
All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'll see you. I'll see you rest of the show, I'm sure. All right, so we went over to Al Milgram. He ended up signing my books. I only had one book that I was submitting to CGC, and that was Amazing Spider-Man 294, the first appearance of the Black Cat. And the other books I ended up getting signed, we can actually do a little show and tell. But with the Spider-Man, we went through the same process all over again. The witness came over. Al signed the book. I give the book to the witness. He let it dry for a few moments, and then he put it into another bag with another card in there stating that Al Milgram is the person who signed this book. So what I did at that point was thank the witness, and I got the rest of my books signed after he handed me the bag, the Spider-Man 294. He handed it back to me. I thanked him for his time. He went on, and I finished up with Al Milgram, and I got the rest of my books signed, including this Fantastic Four. What is this? 348. You saw this a few days ago when I was showing some of the books signed by Walt Simonson as well. He signed up here. But Al did some of the inking in this book, and he signed right there. Also, the cover and the interior art, for the most part, is Art Adams, and he signed down at the bottom. So got all three of those during the con. But the Al Milgram one was, I guess I could have gotten this book graded as well, but I didn't have them witness this book. This is a book that if it ever gets submitted, I'll put it in for JSA verification. I didn't get a witness for this book. The other two books I got signed were a classic. I love this cover growing up. You've got Captain Marvel number 29. In this issue by Jim Starlin, you get the first time that Captain Marvel gets his cosmic awareness. And you can see that Jim Starlin had signed down here. And I'd gotten this several years ago. But Al Milgram worked on this art as well, so his signature's over here. As he said, it's one of the two sweet spots, really the two spots on either side of Captain Marvel is where you're supposed to sign, I guess. But Jim Starlin signed down there at the corner. And I also got a reprint of this as well. This was a recreation. I believe Al Milgrom actually did the cover here. It's a recreation of that same book. But this is a collection of those early Captain Marvel Thanos storylines from issues 26 through 33. And they put this out as a 5-issue series on some better than newspaper print. It's not Baxter paper, I think. I'm not sure. But I'd gotten Jim Starlin signed this years ago. He signed in the same place. And then Al Milgrom, just to switch it up, signs up here in the other sweet spot on that one. So those were all the things that I got signed by Al Milgrom, including, as I said, that issue of 294 Spider-Man with the first appearance of the Black Cat. And that's the book that eventually got submitted to CGC on Sunday. Now, all this Al Milgrom signing right here and the Costanza were all on Saturday. And then just to reiterate what I did was on Sunday morning, I came into the con. Steve Epting was not there yet, but I devoted the first 2 hours of the day getting all of my books submitted to CGC. And in fact, you'll see in a future episode where I'll sit down and I will show you some of the process I went through. It's kind of boring because I'm literally sitting there on the computer, but I may do a short video where you see some of the glimpses of the computer, the process I went through. I'll talk about it a little bit more. But that gave me time to get all the books done. And then I was going to, hopefully by that point, I would go over and see Steve Epting. He'd be there. When I walked in, it was 9:30 in the morning. Doors had opened up for the VIPs. Hardly any of the artists were there, including Steve Epting. So it wouldn't have done me any good to go get that book signed first anyway, because he wasn't there. But being able to submit all the other orders gave me time for him to get to the show. So immediately following me getting all of my submissions put into CGC, I'm right there at CGC. So I ended up grabbing a witness who was available, and we walk over, and that's what you're going to see in the footage coming up, as me getting that witness and then going over and then getting Steve Epting to sign, and then we come back and then do the final submission. Or actually, I end up eventually putting that submission in. I'm not sure if I've got footage on that here today or not. But what I did was I literally just turned around, came back, and submitted that book as well, and took care of everything that I had to do with CGC that day. So sit back, watch a little bit of this footage of the signing with Steve Epting, and I'll be back for one final commentary and a little bit more show and tell. Hey folks, either of you available to go with me to see Steve Epting?
Sure.
Cool.
Which way is he?
Over that way, yeah. Thanks.
Keep looking.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little calmer today, huh?
Oh, way calm. We usually don't get to do that for like the first 6 or 7 hours of the day.
He's right there. Second one. I've got 3. I got 3 that I'm going to witness. I'm going to do.
Cool.
And then 2 more, but
Those for another artist, or
no,
you're not getting a witness?
Well, I'm just not getting a witness. They're just for me.
That works.
Hey, Steve. How you doing? Do you mind signing some books? Sure. Cool. I've got 5, but these are going to be witnessed. I'm going to send these to CGC.
Okay. 3 CGCs?
3 CGCs.
Okay.
Oh no, it's at Alex.
So will we. So will we.
Yeah.
I've actually got some of your original artwork from the series here, so I really love this stuff.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
What do I owe you now?
20, 40, 60, 70, 80.
There you go. $80.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll walk with you a little bit there.
I'm gonna help this guy real quick too.
That's right. I want to stand right there just to let these dry a little bit. I'll be right here. I love the paint pens, but boy.
Oh, they look so good, but they do take a little bit extra to dry. Yeah, there's somebody got a metal cover signed yesterday with a paint pen, and it took that thing like 15 minutes to dry. It took forever. Next year, I'm just going to carry a handheld fan with me. That way I can assist as I'm with people and get things drying. So it's such a good idea. I've only seen like 2 or 3 people here do it. It seemed like a winner to me.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to keep that in mind now. I'm going to put these back in individual.
I feel like a vendor could just like buy a bunch of cheap handheld fans off Amazon and set up shop in here. Like,
yeah, really.
Like $5 or $10 a piece to all the people walking around getting things signed. What's that? It's gonna be my money making strategy for next year. I'm gonna buy a big pile of handheld fans to sell to.
Oh yeah, I saw some lady that had that. She was gonna post that.
He was just telling me that. I wouldn't even thought about that. But
yeah, that's especially with the paint pens. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd hoped to have gotten these done yesterday so I could have submitted everything.
Yeah,
and
a little more timely fashion.
I just spent the last 2 hours putting all the submissions in. But it's like I knew I had to do this too, but I pulled these out of the press yesterday and I'm like, ooh, they need just a little bit more work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap. So I was pressing at 1 o'clock this morning at night, you know. Well, it's like I knew what I was going to do with it, but it's like, you know, I don't want to submit it and still have that little tick sitting there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway, what's your name?
Cody.
Cody, I'm Rusty. Thanks for your help.
Nice
I appreciate
to
it.
meet you. If you need anything else, just give me a call.
Will do. As I said, we finished up with Steve Epstein. I got 3 copies of Captain America #6, the first appearance of the Winter Soldier. 2 of them were regular covers, and if you watch the video there, the 3rd was the variant featuring Bucky instead of Captain America on the cover. I got all 3 of those signed, and those all went into CGC. But those weren't the only books I got signed by Steve Epstein. I also got Hell Arisen #3, the first appearance of Punchline, signed as well. And it's a little hard to see because he signed on silver up here. Let's see if I can catch the light. Oh man, it's really tough. It's right there. In person, I can pick it up, but it's so hard to pick it up on the camera. But James Tynion had only signed a few weeks ago, signed this for me. Of course, James Tynion wrote this. He is the creator of Punchline. And Steve Epstein did the artwork in this issue. And I also got the variant cover to Hell Arisen #3 as well. And this one, that's really dark on camera, but you can see right there, Steve Epstein. And of course, James Tynion signs on black, and you can hardly see it on there. Sometimes I can't figure out the artists and creators sometimes. It's funny, I've met creators over the last few years that have taken their time and they really are concerned about putting their signature on something and making it look good. They want the fan to have something really special. And I'm not saying that the other creators don't care, but they don't think about it. They just think about signing and move and keep moving. And James Tynion, when he was at Third Eye Comics, did the same thing. He didn't switch pins. All he had to do was switch a pin over to silver on this or gold, and that would have popped really good, but he didn't. And you're in the moment, and sometimes it's too late to, after he signs it, what are you going to do? You can't say, really, you shouldn't say anything at that point. You probably should have given them your own pin. Can you sign this in silver? It feels a little bit like a dick move to have to ask that all the time, but maybe that's what needs to happen in these cases. Nonetheless, that's Steve Epstein on both of these books. These are really good. These are books that I may eventually get graded as well, but I'll end up going through CGC and using the JSA verification for that in the future if I decide to eventually submit these at some point. They're really nice books. Even graded unsigned are still really good books, even when it's down market. Signed, though, these are really, really nice. They would actually be a little bit more, even more valuable. So even having to pay that extra fee for the verification. So after finishing with Steve Epting, I headed directly back to the CGC booth so I could submit those 3 Captain America books and be done with all of my submissions to CGC. So what you're going to see now is a few clips of me going back and doing the application or the submission process. I didn't get into the details in this, but there are a few clips of that. So sit back and enjoy those clips, and then I'll be back for a final wrap up and a final commentary.
We have an open laptop. I
Oh.
don't know what you're doing, silly goose.
All right, you asked me to go ahead and log in before, so do you
We're actually more dead than I thought.
let me skip this and come on in?
Yeah, come on in.
Cool. So much. So anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this video today and you got some insight into this process when you go to a con and have CGC witness books for you, when you take them with you to meet the creators. I enjoy this. It was a pretty seamless thing this time. I've had issues in the past where, as I said, we don't have a lot of witnesses. It's hard to do everything you need to do. But at this con in Baltimore, they had plenty of witnesses and there was no delay in getting anything witnessed and anything back to CGC. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the books I got signed. And if you've ever gotten any of these creators to sign for you, I'd love to know. All right, I'm out of here. You guys take care. And remember, every comic has a story.